Well, nobody's on. I guess I'm talking to myself today, but that's okay. I got on here to talk a little bit about motherhood. Mm, Um, I think being a mom for me was the hardest job I ever did. I became a mom at 22. I'm now 44. Um, was engaged to my now husband. High school, kind of high school sweetheart, I guess we were, but on and off that type thing. You know, um, and I remember being so terrified. But you know what? Being a mom comes easy, and it's the most rewarding thing you'll ever do in your life, and it's the best gift. Hello, Bella. Talking about momhood, how rewarding it is. How's everything? I feel like I've been off YouTube for like a week, but really it hasn't. So all I do is sit on YouTube now. I don't even watch TV because I'm so addicted to it. I mean, I've always been a YouTube girl, but now more than ever. It just, I don't really like certain TVs. Oh, it's good. How about you? Did you have any Valentine's plans? I know it's very addicting, YouTube. It is. But you know what it is? Like, I'm a homebody, so my husband or my son, they're always watching football, and I'm like, it's either I sit in the living room with them or I go in my bedroom and watch TV. So I come in the living room, pop my beats on, and I watch YouTube. And I've been doing that for years. I've watched YouTube commuting back and forth to the city for 15 years. When it first came available, I always said I wanted to do it, I wanted to do it, and I was like, no way could I ever do it. I DVR a lot of things. Yeah, I don't. Got laid off in 2010, and then I worked, for my old boss and stuff like that. But I've had two hand surgeries, and I'm a graphic artist, and they screwed both of them up. They screwed the first one up and the second one up. So in this hand, you could see it, and there's a huge scar, which shouldn't even look like that. It should not look like carpal tunnel surgery. So this thing is hitting on all my nerves. It's pressing on all my nerves, and I have absolutely no feeling in my hand. Like none. And everybody's like, go on Social Security. I'm like, no, I refuse to. I'm like, I'm young. I'm not ready to give up my hand. I love, you know, I love working. I'm a graphic artist. I'm an artist. I paint, I draw, you know, so I do it. It's so incredibly painful, especially now that it's cold. And I do a lot of freelance work. I face paint kids. I do a lot of charity work with, foundations in Staten Island and Manhattan. I've been to the Ronald McDonald House. I've been to Sloan with the kids section. The thing is, I am so emotional. I cannot control my emotions. I'm pretty sure everybody knows that by now. Like, you can't go into the Ronald McDonald House and not get emotional. Like, you're sitting there face painting a kid and you hear the mom talking behind you, like, yeah, we come from Idaho and, you know, Jenna only has 3 months to live. And I'm painting Jenna's face and my heart is breaking. And I'm like crying. Like, I try not to cry because, to them, they don't know. So it's hard doing children's charity work, but I do walk out of there with such a great feeling out of the whole thing. I gotta learn to look at the camera. Like, the camera's over here, the chat's over here. And I don't know how to cheat. I don't even know how the chat comes up. But, um, I'm glad finally, I think I'm over this whole Chris Watts case. I don't even bother watching anything no more. I did make an old video to, like, Nicole Utor, um, uh, and I never uploaded it. So I decided to upload it. Bella, I don't even know what I'm doing, I swear. I really don't. Like, I am trying to figure out what I want my channel to be about, but I don't want my channel to be about just one thing, Like, I don't want to. Listen, I think that the crime is great and I love it. I'm addicted to it. I was always an ID core chat. I love watching all that stuff. But after a while, it becomes like dark and you need a little, you know, go between. So I'm like, you know, let's be a go between. Because that's all I watch is crime documentaries, death documentaries. I love that. I'm like the documentary queen. I just watched the one on Quincy Jones and it was so good, but I think there was so much left out. I think I've watched every documentary on Netflix. Crimes, drugs. I've read every book. I like to read. You like to read, Bella? Who else is in here? Bella and somebody else? I haven't seen you. I can't see. Oh, they didn't comment. Whoever else is in here, hi. Hi, Daniel. Daniel, right? Do I speak Russia? No. No. Sorry. I'm Irish. Irish and German with a thick New York accent. Right, Bella? We wear our badge of honor. It's so crazy. Everywhere I go, when we go out of town, when I do these videos, um, everybody says, oh, I love your accent, I love your accent, and I cannot stomach it. And I know nobody likes to hear themselves talk, but I don't like to hear New York accent don't bother me. Staten Island accent bothers me. Brooklyn accent bothers me. Talk to somebody, but when I hear it on YouTube, I'm like, wow, do we really sound like that? Because I think we kind of sound like uneducated, like, or like angry. I think we always sound angry. And I'm like, I'm not angry. I promise. Oh, everyone tells me. It's so funny. I worked literally across the ferry in with everybody that lives in Long Island, Brooklyn, you know, Jersey, and they were like, "You have such a thick accent. Like, you're so Staten Island." And I'm like, "You guys sound just like me." They're like, "No, it's way different." And I'm like, "I don't think it's different, guys. I really don't." I always wondered, like, how did New Yorkers, like, it's supposed to be New York, New York. We say it like without the R. Like, where did that come from? I found out that my sore throat isn't just a sore throat. I have polyps in my neck from my thyroid, so it's a little bit more extensive than that. Not the first time I'm going through this rodeo, so it's nothing to be alarmed about. Nothing to feel sorry for either, so please, that's not why I'm telling everybody. Yeah, I have to go get a scope down and they kind of like burn them out. But whatever. I've done it before. I keep saying, like, to the doctor, my thyroid is out. Take it out. My thyroid is dead. Let me take it out. But they won't let me take it out. And I feel like it's my body. I should be able to do what I want. But, um, I just reading about that cop that was killed. And, my dad was a cop, so that kind of hit home. And, God, 19 years on the job. This man had 1 year to go where he could have retired. And he was shot with a guy with a fake gun, so which means there was crossfire between the cops. So obviously he was shot by his own, you know, his own people. Another cop had to shoot him. And that, I cannot imagine what those other cops are feeling like. And trying to understand the scenario, but I just can't grasp it. Like, I don't know. Like, was he playing? I don't know why they won't take my thyroid out, Bella. They tell me, oh, if we take it out, you're gonna be on medication for the rest of your life. I'm like, but I'm on medication now, and I'm gonna be for the rest of my life the same medication. And Bella, I swear, I wish I could post pictures on here. 2 years ago at this time, I dropped a substantial amount of weight, like 85 pounds. Um, I was skinny, and I put it all back on within a year and a half. And I'm just never depressed. I'm not depressed. I'm depressed now because I'm seeing my face in here and my double chin and my neck all swollen, and I'm miserable. Hi, Angela. I was just gonna go watch your video after this. I seen you just posted. Yeah, with the dog, your doggy. I seen the title, so I'm assuming it was the doggy. Trust me, I'll be on the live. You'll hear my dogs. So, um, yesterday I made a video about bullying and Golightly and stuff. I struggle to understand her. I struggle to understand what it is she's doing. I don't want to sit and do videos about her, but I just feel like she's very. I have a shirt on underneath it. Oh my god, funny story. I was on live last night and I faced the other way. Um, oh yeah, I think there's always a delay. Um, I was on live last night, and my husband's like walking in and out. I'm like, I'm on live, don't say anything. And he had basketball shorts on, and he's like bending over, putting jogging pants on, and he's looked like he's in underwear. I didn't even notice. I was like mortified after I played the video back. But you think I'm gonna take it down? No, I don't care. This is just me. When I edit videos, I edit videos. When I come on here to speak to people, whether it's live or not, this is what you're gonna get. Like, then after that, my son's coming in that. Then the freaking dogs took my wire and the iPad went flying across the living room. I was peeing myself laughing. I still went on with my life, but um, I just get frustrated because I think that you know, I I I I don't dislike her as a person. I don't dislike her. I don't prefer to listen to her, and I just think that she's like this women, you know, advocate, and she's far from it. She's far from it. She was far from it before the Watts case. She's actually defended Nick Carter's Nick Carter for raping a woman, and it was, I guess he was innocent, but before he was innocent, yeah, Bella, thank God, but it didn't look like he had basketball shorts on. That's why I was so embarrassed. And then he farted, and I'm like, you're disgusting. But again, I'm not editing it out. I don't care. It is what it is. You know, she defended this woman going back to go lightly before, you know, Nick Carter was innocent. Which, innocent, or did he pay her off? Like, is it so far fetched that he's done something like that with another woman and she didn't want to do it? Because your claim to fame is, I don't know if you guys seen it. She did it. Yes, she was younger, and we all have our secrets. I don't condone her for it. I would do it too. It was Nick Carter back in those days. Shit, Backstreet Boys were hot. I would not have a threesome. No, thank you. Me and Nick Carter, way to go. Me and Nick Carter, my friend, not gonna happen. Sorry, and I don't condone it. I don't condone it at all, but it's just not my cup of tea. No, only men here for me. So if you guys interested, Bella, which I don't think. Oh yeah, she did. She got people to harass that girl. I don't see. She's saying like she calls the people that make videos about her. So I take myself into consideration because I've made videos about her. I don't think I'm a bully. Like, there's a difference. Like, I am not um harassing her, or you know uh she say you can't use her content. You can use her content, and not as long as you use ad commentary. I just don't like when she picks on people. I don't like it. I just don't like it. I don't. And you'll say I'm gonna tell you every move she makes. Like, she makes these videos with the business suit on, that she's all swagged out, you know, and just go back to her history, but you're probably not going to find it because she deleted it. And she's sitting there, like, all sophisticated and saying, namaste and negative, get rid of the negative energy and this, that, and the third. Trust me when I tell you, those videos, just go look at the number of people that see it. You go into the supermarket, Okay, Bella. Um, you know, the number of views she gets on her normal life coaching things and the number of views she gets on ones when she's acting a fool. And that doesn't necessarily mean talking about people saying like I that's just not I crack up, but I can't sit and listen to 4 hours of it. So I like watching other people cover her. But then I get mad. It's like that train wreck that you can't turn away from. And you know what? So be it. I support it. If that's who you're gonna be, then say that's who you're gonna be. But that's the part I don't like. The accountability that she doesn't take. Like she always skates around an apology. So, um, I went into Manhattan the other day for Valentine's Day, and I had such a great time. I had a bit of anxiety because, yeah, Angela, I loved when they do the chats. Like my favorite thing to do, um, oh yeah, yeah, harassing that girl. I think it was a little of like a delay. That's all right. Listen, if it don't make sense to everybody back when they rewatch this, I apologize, but there is a delay with me in the chat. Um, so we went to a Broadway play for Valentine's Day, Jersey Boys, but it was off Broadway, excuse me. It was really good. I suggest you if you're ever in New York, go see it. Um, the theater is so small, so word of advice, Orchestra Street seats are nice, but anyway, go to the mezzanine, it's cheaper. I know, I wasn't, well, Angela, there was only four people. It, there was only four people in the chat. In my chat, you mean? Or us? Oh, Bella, go see it. It was so worth it. Please, I did not want it to end. That's how good it was. It's music I grew up on, it just never gets old. And I never seen the movie. I came home and watched the movie. But I was so come from away. No, what's that about, Angela? It's a Broadway or a movie? You know who I like on I just discovered? Well, not just. I seen her before, but the Woods woman. Oh, what's her name? God, what's her name? What's her name? What's her name? I forgot, but it's Woods woman something. Yeah, well, Jersey Boys was on Broadway, but I think after a while, they changed it up, so now it's off Broadway. But um, it's a little bit cheaper, a little bit. But the guy who played uh Valley was so good. I was just upset. Oh, really? Say I want to. Broadway, it's about 9/11, about the planes landing in the other communities based on the landing. What's the name of it? Bella, write the name, or if you lose me, comment in the in any video. I don't care what it is. Oh my God, you would not believe how the community came. Oh, Come From Away. Oh, I gotta watch it. I gotta watch it. Is it on Netflix? You would not believe what it was. As sad as it was on 9/11, and trust me, it was sad. But the people that came, oh my God, it was crazy. I remember after 9/11, because I had, oh, it's a Broadway show. Oh, okay. Have you ever been to the museum? We went the first day it opened. Because do you guys remember the flag that was hanging on the buildings? My father-in-law is part of that. It's called, he works for Merrill Lynch now, Bank of America. It's called, their organization is called New York Says Thank You. And what it is since we had so many people come in and help us on 9/11 clean up, like people from everywhere, fire departments across everywhere and anywhere. I mean, that cleanup job, rescue effort, all of that was, I mean, it was crazy. But so this little kid, right after 9/11, there was California. I watched every doc too, Angela, and I cried my eyes out and watched. I'm gonna tell you why I watched, because my friend that I spoke about early on, I don't know if you've seen it, and I lost her. Her and I commuted commuted a lot to um, the city together in the morning. Sometimes we'd meet on a ferry. Other times I'd meet her on an express bus. We both had to be in at 8:30. So, and we live right in the next town. So we would normally get on. Um, yep, so sad it is. And Bella, you knew us, so um, I live off Midland, so occasionally we would jump on the same express bus. Sometimes we'd even plan it. So we got on. We would often get on express bus. So I used to watch the documentaries just to try to figure out like where she could have been, because she was on the 101st floor. And then I think one of her friends they actually went back and timed when they found the express bus she got off. They called the bus driver. He he had the time, everything, and they estimated that she was most likely stepping off the elevator or in the elevator right onto the 101st floor when the first plane hit. They never recovered anything. Nothing. Nothing. So, I watch everything thinking like, am I gonna see her? Like, I just wonder it's so hard not having a body, you're right, for closure, Her memorial it was devastating. She was, you guys, you have to go look her up. She was stunningly gorgeous. Her name was Monica Goldstein. Just Google her and you will see what I'm saying. The girl, she was not only stunningly beautiful, Bella, you could, like you're saying, her heart, her outside matched her inside. And she was so humble and so fun and so full of life and so family oriented. It was just, you know, um another one, Saving Nicholas. Did you ever watch that? Or Telling Nicholas? Yeah, the red bandana. The janitor. What about the janitor? It was so funny. He actually mentions my best friend's brother because he worked with him down in the basement. Um, Yeah, Bella, it's funny. Monica and I went to PS52 together. We went to Egbert together. Yes, that smile was beautiful. And we went to Newdorp together. So elementary, grade school, and um, high school. And Michael is my cousin, so it's my mother and his mother are sisters. And we grew up across the street from each other, so we still are thick as thieves. Like, I was surrounded by all boys. So I was a tomboy. It was either play kickball, play football, play stickball, climb the trees, get dirty, or play by yourself. Cause I was the only girl. I played softball all my life. I played volleyball. Um, I coached softball. I coached my daughter in basketball. My husband coached my son in baseball, basketball, and football. Hmm. Yep. Oh my God. And I don't know if you know, after Monica passed away, her best friend Justin passed away shortly, maybe a year or two after. Um, and Monica's father just passed away, Bella. You went to 52 in Newdorp too? Get out. What year did you graduate Newdorp? Hi, Christy. Thank you for joining. We're talking about everything 9/11, everything. We do have to know each other. I don't know how old you are, and I feel bad asking, but if you write it in here, everybody will say, I'm 44. I'm a year older than Michael. So, well, 2 years, really. Because when I remember when they were in Egbert, I was in 8th grade, they were in 6th. So I was always 2 years ahead. Yeah. Well, Newdorp, I'm not too proud to say that I didn't really attend very much. Justin, yep, that's his name, Justin. So going back in 9/11, you definitely have. If you're ever in New York, you have to go see the museum. It's so and the tribute, and then you could take a free ferry ride over and see the same tribute 94. So I graduated in 90. Well, was supposed to graduate in 92. But I got left back in 8th grade because I was a bad girl. And my parents separated that year, so I was, a loose cannon. Yeah, I'm 44. So we have to know each other, Bella. We have to. You have to email me. I- will I'll give it to you in my comment section. Um, and God, I had some great times with uh Monica. But if you're ever in New York, um, definitely go to the 9/11 museum. Definitely, if you don't want to go to the museum, because go and see the tribute. It, you know, it it it's beautiful. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And Century 21's there, so you could shop. It's another reason to go. Yeah, Angela, it's just it's remarkable. If you watched all the documentaries, then you will be fascinated by the museum. I thought the most. Anyway, I was telling you guys about the flag. You know the flag that hung on the buildings, like all throughout the cleanup and rescue effort, all along. Um, well, my father-in-law, he, since to give back, a little boy that father worked for Merrill Lynch there was California fires. So he collected all these toys for kids that lost everything in the fires, and he sent them. And the organization started out as New York Says Thank You. So every year, all these corporate, the corporate guys and girls would get together every week of 9/11, and they would go to another state that had a tragedy. Like one was Boy Scouts. There, um, uh, Angela, come. I will definitely take you on a tour. I swear, I promise. Um, you could look it up. I don't know if you'll ever find it. There is a documentary, and it's called New York Says Thank You, and they give back. So every year, my father-in-law goes the week of, and it depends on who, you know. It was the first or second year was a Boy Scout where they had a fire and two young kids died. They rebuilt their um cabins or whatever. Oh yeah, she rolled it up and down, Monica. And her red Jeep. Do you know they still have it? And her sister Adrian works in pink in the mall. Sorry guys. Um so yeah, so every year these corporate guys do another place and they rebuild something. And it's kinda like extreme makeovers. I don't know where you can find it. When it came out, I think it was about 5 or 6 years ago. It was in the Tribeca Film Festival. I haven't been able to find it since. It's a documentary. And if anybody finds it, please link it in my description. And if I find it, I'll link it in my description or I'll make a video on it. New York Says Thank You. That's the name of the organization and the documentary. I think they have a website too if you want to look it up. And, I think New Yorkers get a bad name. I think Staten Islanders get a bad name because we're associated with mob wives, which I want to let you know that it's all fake. First of all, none of them married except Renee, and the only one who's real, and I'm going to tell you this honestly, was Big Ange. Big Ange was real. Over the top, yes. Sweetheart, love her to death. God rest her soul. She was a sweetheart. But let me tell you something about Big Ange. Back in the day, she worked in a club when I was younger, and she was the bartender. I think it was her and her sister. Um, and she was absolutely beautiful. I'm like, why did she get all this work? She was gorgeous when she was younger, Big Ange. Absolutely gorgeous. Trita is not even Italian. Her boyfriend, I know of him. He's nothing to do with the mob. Karen, nothing to do with the mob other than your father being a rat. I don't like rats, sorry. He says all the time that, and I don't believe this to be true, that he only rolled on Gotti because Gotti was gonna roll on him. I don't agree with either one of them. Yes, you know what it is, Angela? When you come from Staten Island, even you'll most likely either know each other. Really, it's really true. You know each other, or you're like, no, you've heard of somebody's name. It's really small, and everybody knows your business. And there's good people, there's bad people, like everywhere. There's bad neighborhoods, there's good neighborhoods, you know, but it's like humbling growing up here, especially where I grew up, because it was a very Irish cultured neighborhood. Oh yeah, Christy, not on 9/11. What happened to me was I took the express bus in. If you go look at my New York video. I'm on the express bus, and there's a part where I'm in the tunnel. Okay, so we got. I don't like the tunnel now because I have a story about the tunnel. I have to tell it one day, but a worse. Well, no, nothing worse than 9/11, but a panic after 9/11 story tunnel. Um, but what happened was we got stuck in the tunnel on the express bus, and people were going crazy because we were there for like 40 minutes, and we knew something was going on, but we did not know what. And all of a sudden the Port Authority, like, you have to get them over to the other side. So because um um the Gambino family, I believe, is New York because with they all worked together. I think it was like New York in the Bronx, then which is New York, then Brooklyn, all the five boroughs, I think. I think the family that's from New Jersey and Philly is Brasco, which they were all affiliated. I don't know how I watched the movie. Did you see the movie with John Travolta? It got like 20,000 Rotten Tomatoes. I didn't think it was that bad. I I think it was better than when he played OJ because that was a bad fit for him. But it lacked the story. There was so much into that. They skipped so much. They made, you know, I think they kind of like glorified themselves. Sammy the Bull killed 19 people. Like, like, he killed 19 people. And the story about John Gotti, I don't know, I'm sure you guys know. The Neba, um, yes, he did. He did. But you know what, Angela? That's from his son's story. And that's his son's angle. So I knew it was going to be biased. But the neighbor story, do you know the neighbor story that yeah, it was talking to Junior. What he did to that neighbor was terrible because that neighbor's son was on a big wheel, not a bike, and he was backing out of his driveway, leaving to go to work. It wasn't like he seen him coming. He wasn't drunk. He was backing out of his driveway. He had no visibility of the boy because he's on a big wheel's on the ground. You know what I mean? It was an accident. And I understand losing a child is the worst thing that could ever happen to anybody, you know what I mean? But to murder him over an accident, I mean, come on. And that was one thing I was like, but there are good things John Gotti did for New York, but they far worse things. Like, you know, he was making mom and pop shops pay them 20% of what they were making and stuff. That's terrible. They're trying to feed, you want to go after contractors and big wigs and corporate, but mom and pop shops, no, I don't agree with that. You know, Karen didn't, going back to Mom Boys, Karen did not grow up here. She lived in Arizona. Then they made another show, Made in Staten Island, where the boy CP, I know him personally. Actually, his uncle and grandpa are a very good friend of mine. But the daughter wasn't even born and raised in Staten Island. So how could you sit here and tell Made in Staten Island? No, you weren't. You might have been made here, but you didn't live here. You know what I mean? So anyway, that flag that hangs at 9/11, I keep jumping around. I'm sorry. My father-in-law actually took it to every place. That was his job with the organization. New York says thank you. So they repaired it. So every place sewed on a stripe until they got it finished. And I, my son actually got to go. My father on Giant Stadium. I believe it was when they opened the new stadium and opened the flag. That flag they opened is the one from 9/11 that was hanging there. So the first day they opened the museum, we went with my father-in-law, because he works across the street at the World Financial Center, and he was there that day, directly across the street. You could see that was the building across the street on the water side, where the chunk of the building's taken out. And then I worked, if you know where Century 21 is, if you look at, I worked right behind there. So it didn't matter where you worked. You could work 8 blocks away. People don't understand. Those buildings were a mile long. I mean, 101 floors. When you're going like, 1 to 2, 48 to 49th, it's not long. It's the avenues that are long. Like from 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, Park, Madison, 6th, all that. Going, from the west side to the west side to the east side to west side. Those blocks are extremely long. But when you're going from downtown to midtown, the blocks are very short. So, I mean, when those buildings came down, that cloud went blocks. I mean, blocks. I miss seeing the buildings too. Oh my God. You know what I always watch? Working Girl. Because you get a whole gist of it. And that one documentary where you're inside and with the filmmaker, two brothers that with the fire department that actually caught. Well, they didn't catch the first. They did catch the first plane, but kind of didn't. Um. So yeah, I watched everything. I feel like the people that were cheated in 9/11 were the people that were on the plane. Nobody ever speaks about those survivors. Nobody. Father Judge. I showed in New York, in my New York video, Angela, the church that they carried Father Judge in. I show it to you in that video below, well, on my channel. I was on the bus, so I couldn't really show much, but, going in, I wasn't on the side of the tower, so I showed the church and, the areas. Coming home at night, I showed you the Freedom Tower, but it's dark and it's quick, but I don't like the Freedom. It's beautiful, but it's, when you grow up here and see two towers, it'll never be the same to me, Taking the Staten Island ferry in and looking at that landscape was everything. It really was. It made the New York City skyline. I don't care what that and the Brooklyn Bridge. So, yeah, if any, I know it's just me and you, Angela, but I know people that are gonna watch this later. Anybody has any thyroid, you know, anything to advice, I'm open to take it because I just about had it. Like any kind of recipes or food to stay away from or things to do. Um, yeah, I my daughter she was only a baby. She was one, and I don't know what it is, but she is infatuated with 9/11 in the movies. The one with Nicolas Cage. She wanted to go see it, and we were on vacation when it came out. I was like, I don't think it's a good idea. She's too young. And we took her, and oh my God, my husband literally had to carry my daughter out of there. I could not. I was wailing, wailing, because if you watch that whole family wait for people to come home, that is exactly what we did that day. Every family. Just waiting, waiting to hear, and it went on for days because you'd have to call hospitals. I mean, me and my cousin went everywhere. One point they told us there was bodies in Giant Stadium. We went there. I mean, we went everywhere. Everywhere. The signs, you see all the signs. We made all those. I mean, for days we hung on to hope. And then after that, we hung on to more hope. And then after that became the recovery, hanging on to wait and see what they found. And then it just became nothing. Yeah, I know it's, if you see, there's another documentary on Netflix, Artifacts on 9/11. And the crazy things that they did find, like a piece of paper this big, and I'm like, or, a ring or a shoe. Like, how does a shoe survive, but a body, not even a piece? There was body parts, but I would imagine that, I remember that our family had to submit DNA and everything. So, you know, a lot of families would get caught. My neighbors, the two sons that passed away, they found the one son, his whole body. They never even found anything of the other brother. And I lived, in my house all my life. I grew up with them. Um, my dad was a cop. My cousin's a cop. hmm Um, my dad, my dad, and my cousin, my two cousins are cops. Oh, Bella, we're just talking about artifacts on 9/11. Oh, your brother in New York City? Angela, what precinct does he work at? My dad was actually, he's retired now, but he was cop of the year in 1983, all five boroughs. And he was mortified. Like, we gave him a big surprise party. He does not like the spotlight. He was so angry. He's very shy, my dad. Very. Very shy. Does not like it at all. It was a big honor. The city gave him, my mother was still married at the time. They gave him a cruise. Um, they gave him a plaque. It was like a Daily News plaque with his face on it. You know, it was really cool. He had like the most undercover narcotic arrests, like 4 years straight or something like that. And he worked in Alphabet City in the Ninth Precinct. Oh, gotcha. Oh yeah, we said that, Angela. Newfoundland. My mother's sister lives in Calgary. I told you. And I couldn't believe it. My cousin, the same cousin, Michael, that I'm telling you, he just went to go visit my aunt, and I couldn't believe how beautiful things was. Oh yeah, you always worry. I remember being a kid. I lived with my father after they separated, and it was just me and my dad. So he would go to work, and I would always say like, um, I wonder if this is gonna be the last time I see my dad. I always worried. I panicked all the time. Like he'd leave, and I didn't want him to go. I remember sometimes I would get bad intuitions, and I cry, and I hold on to him. Please don't go, Dad. I feel like something bad's gonna happen. It's hard being, a, you know, a daughter of a cop or a wife of a cop, because you just never know. You just never know. We just lost a cop. the other day. I mean, 19 years on the job, which means you have 1 year to go. You know, and you know what? There are bad cops, but 1 in every 100 is a punk. There's plenty of good cops. Plenty of good cops. There's bad in everything. Oh my God. He was a cop, Angela? I'm so sorry. That's gotta be the worst. The worst. And and the funerals that they give these cops. I I don't know how you can't cry. Like, I sit there and weep. Uh, Either way, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It doesn't. I think that's what I'm starting to feel now. Like, I don't feel like I'm getting older, but I always aw, fell downstairs. That's terrible. I fear losing my parents. I don't know what it is lately. And my parents are not sick and they're not old, but I just a lot of my friends, like I really like. There's only I have 6 best friends that I grew up with, and there's only 2 of us that have our parents still here. Hi, hi, Dana, right? It's probably Dana a little bit. How are you, honey? Thanks for joining us. We're talking about New York and 9/11, Calgary in Canada, and being a mom and everything in between. I'm good. Freezing to death. My dad and my husband are redoing my living room, so they're knocking down walls and everything else. So they're dying, so I can't put my heat on. So it's literally like um so cold in here, and it's very hard to knock down my walls because it's cement. No, not Boston, Staten Island. Angela, I did want to be a cop, but my dad refused to let me, and I'm mad. I wish I would have went into forensics if it was available when I was younger. New York, New York, Staten Island. Yeah, I took the test too, and I scored, and they called me, and my father was like, "Tracy, please don't do this. Please, I'm begging you not to do it. It's not the job for a female." Like, uh, Dana, I did a video on New York. I did want to, but like when I don't know, like my father kind of scared me, like, and I think he was kind of right. When he was a cop, people appreciated cops. Now there's such a black cloud over cops, and I don't think it's fair. I really don't. I really don't. When all that blue lights and stuff matters, I made blue ribbons to go around trees, and I sat and made all these blue ribbons, like blue lives matters, and I tied them all around the trees in my neighbor. I must have made, I swear, and I just did it because you know what, a cop salary ain't that great, and because one cop makes a bad decision, you cannot blame all the cops. And you'd really be disgusted if I told you what a New York cop salary was. It's disgraceful, really disgraceful. Seriously, like bad, bad. Like sanitation, I think they start out making more money than a cop does. It's just and it's a lot of work. Like, if you make an arrest, now court is the same day, so you gotta stay there. You know what I mean? It's not just you make an arrest, you gotta stay to go to court and everything else. That was a lot of why I didn't see my father, because he would make 3, 4, 5 arrests in a day, and then you don't get to come home. He had to go to court that same night, So he had a lot of overtime, but we rarely seen him. They should make so much more money, and they don't. The fire department too. It's honestly, I think the postal workers too. Like, I was a postal worker for a month. That did not work for me. Oof. God bless them. That job is really hard. I am not kidding. You have 70 pounds altogether you're holding, and on in your bag, like in Staten Island, in Brooklyn, you could push the carts with your mail in there. In Staten Island, you drive a car, but you gotta park your car at the end of your mail truck at the end of the block, and you have to I used to be a teacher. Poop kiss, what's that? And a 70-pound bag, and then you have magazines in your hand, and um oh yeah, athletes make ridiculous amount of money. It's absurd amount of money that they make. And then I don't know how you can go broke. I don't know how. Um, I don't. New York City teachers. I know that they offer, they say they should get paid more, but I don't know. And then I hear other teachers like I know of, like they're like, yeah, we make great money. So I don't know. You know, um, they also get the summers off. That I would love that gig. It's not an easy job though. Any any age you go to, like kindergarten is tough, high school stuff. I commend teachers. And these kids today, they have no respect. No respect. My mother-in-law was a para in a really bad school in really bad neighborhood in Staten Island. And she used to get hit and beaten. Like, they don't. My mother-in-law got paid for summer school and off. New York City Board of Ed. Dina, where do you live? I I would not want the job of teaching because you know yeah, in Dana, in New York, they get summers off. They're off like June. It starts like maybe like June 26th, and they're off until all the way up to like right after uh Labor Day. They go back, which is September 5th, and they get paid for the summer, and they also have the option to work summer school and get paid more. hmm Summer school safety is a good job in New York. I mean, people think they don't make good money, which starting salary isn't that great, but you have to realize they get a lot of overtime because there's a lot of activities after school. There's a lot of activities on the weekends, such as football games that they cover, and that's where they bank their money in. You know what I mean? And now they're part of the NYPD, school safety. So it's a pretty good gig. Pretty good gig. For anybody who's out there who's young enough that could hear this, if I can give any advice like I give my son is taking all the city tests. You gotta do it. Bye, Dana. Thank you for coming. It's so worth it. So worth it. You know, all these people going to college to be in the corporate world. I never thought in a million years that I'd be in the corporate world and I was on top of the world making, you know, fabulous money, and it all came crashing down. I worked in the magazine industry, and when computers came along and destroyed the printing industry, because we're all about wanting news now and all that, my job pretty much became obsolete, and I couldn't predict that. So, you can't predict the corporate world, so I'm telling you, go out and go get a city job and get a college education, because it's not like it was back in the day. That's why I'm so glad my two are in college, and my daughter has me terrified. She wants to join the army. She wants to join the army and become a nurse, but she was supposed to go to the army in January, but she fell jogging and had to get surgery on her knee in September. So it's pulled her back, and now we don't know, because we're in the middle of suing the city because the doctor made me. I didn't want to do it because I'm not like that, but my doctor's like, listen, she's 18 years old. She may never ever be able to get a city job. She may never be able to join the army. So she's better now, Bella. She had the surgery in September. She's good now. Like, she was 6 to 8 weeks was recovery. Mommy was Nurse Cratchit. So now she's in physical therapy. So I just hope to God that it doesn't hold her back from pursuing. Secretly, Mommy does not want she wants to be a nurse in the army. I'm like, Lexi, do you understand that's like, you'll be in the combat zone? No. Like, I know it sounds biased, but I fear that, you know, I don't ever brag about my kids, but my daughter's a beautiful girl. I mean, she's got dark black hair like her father, and she has big green eyes, and she's got like the Kim Kardashian figure. And I'm terrified if she went in the army. Like, I think about, like, not only there are a lot of things that go on that you don't know about, and I really, really, I worry about that. And I tried to explain that to her, but she's like, I don't care. That'll never happen to me. And you cannot say that, you know. So right now she's just in, local college, taking, you know, to become a nurse. So she's studying. Um, she says she wants to work with kids, but I think a lot of nurses say that until you graduate. Then you go work with babies, and it's a whole new. I I love him, to be honest with you, Angela. I love him. I love Trump. I do, but I always did. And I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm a conservative. I'm the girl that'll vote for whoever I feel is comfortable. And I cannot support Hillary Clinton and all the things that were behind it. I just couldn't. And she's a phony. Hillary Clinton, she actually rented space in Harlem just to try to get black people's vote. And she pretended like her office was there. It was never there. She never worked a day in there. And I just don't like Hillary Clinton. And as bad as Bill was, I liked him. But my favorite was Ronald Reagan. I am absolutely fascinated by Ronald Reagan. I love Ronald Reagan. Like, I truly love him. And Nancy Reagan. Like, I think Nancy Reagan, like, back in the days, like, she really took on drugs. And that's when HIV, I mean, she really was passionate about what she did. I love Michelle Obama. I never disliked Obama. I didn't. I just didn't think he really, he didn't do what he said he was going to do. I just wish Trump would just shut his mouth, stay off Twitter, and I just wish that the media would stop pointing out the bad and point out the good and see the big picture and what he's doing, because there is a clear picture here. I don't agree with everything he says, absolutely not, but how many of us agree with, you know, everything our president or past presidents have said and done? Yeah, Nancy Reagan was a big, huge drug advocate, and we need that now. To be honest with you, Staten Island, we are riddled with these pills and heroin addiction. It is scary. I am telling you that we have at least 2-3 overdoses a month that we know of. Like, and good neighborhoods, bad neighborhoods, every neighborhood. It's rich kids. It's beautiful girls that you would never ever think of. My niece's best friend, like, that she went to, middle school with. I open up the paper and there she is, beautiful, stunningly beautiful, sitting in the car, slumped over, overdose, but they revived her, and a 3-month-old baby was in the back seat. I mean, I don't, and the problem is these pills. Now, these kids were taking 3, 4, 5, 6 oxycodone, 80 milligram oxycodones a day. Can you imagine that? Now, in Staten Island, they started out at like $12 a pill. They're up to $25 for one. It is insanity in Staten Island. I mean, insanity. You got mothers, like stay-at-home mothers that you are sitting next to in a PTA meeting that are junkies, and you would never know it. Never know it. You would not know. You have, construction workers, businessmen, Wall Street guys, teenagers. It is like, it's really bad epidemic. Fentanyl now, yeah. Now that's coming prevalent. They're making fake oxycodone pills that are made of straight fentanyl. In my neighborhood alone, um, five overdoses in a year. And I don't live in a bad neighborhood. It's not the best neighborhood, but it's not bad. It's got two sides. Yep. And the thing is, go back and watch a old commercial of when oxycodone came out, and listen to how they sell this drug to doctors. I mean, they say, I watched a documentary, I don't know the name, I think I caught it on YouTube, where they had these 5 people that started in the commercial, and they agreed to take the pill, and and they loved it because you're gonna listen to my dogs. They once they had no more back pain. They took these pills. They felt great. Life was wonderful. And it was non-habit, non-addicting. Flash forward to these people 15 years later, and they were junkies. I mean, and like, one was a mom. They were all junkies 15 years later. I mean, when are we going to crack down? When are we going to crack down on these pills? I don't understand. And I really, 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 I'm very active in the community. I work with a few different people because that was what my uncle was passionate about, and I promised him, like, he was 23 years old, but to keep his legacy alive, and always, if I knew somebody or know somebody struggling with drugs, to help them any way I can. But you know what? It's really hard if people don't want to help. You can't help somebody. It's hard, and then they tell you tough love. But if you know anybody, you know, you could always reach out to me in private. I have a lot of resources that could help. I'm on live. So, well, I'm gonna go now, guys, because I gotta go marinate my steaks. But, Angela, I'm gonna come to Canada. If you come to New York, you better hit me up. Promise. I swear. We'll meet up. I'll take you all over. And Bella, you need to email me because I have a feeling we know each other. I really do. I think we rolled with the same people. Yeah, Bella, we'll go together. Angela, me and Bella are coming to see you. And it's cheap. Ontario flights are cheap. Um, Ladies, thank you for watching. Again, I don't do this for subscribers. I do it because I don't know what it is. When I let out how I feel or my anger or my happiness or whatever I could share, it makes me feel better about myself. I always try to be positive.